All right, I'll explain some things here. This is the turbo flange for the smaller turbo, this thing. So I weld that on, and right now it's welded with MIG wire, so that's MIG'd. It's not TIG yet. This is just a test piece here. We're just gonna mock up this turbo. So, this goes here, and then it'll have a kick up from here to hold the big turbo, and the big turbo is what we're gonna do next. So I'm gonna put another 90 on this, but it's gonna come up instead of around. And then later on, this will all be TIG welded so that those welds don't look like crap like that. So that's what we're gonna do. This is for the bottom of the big turbo. Okay, so this piece is actually gonna go on this pipe that comes up, and it's gonna sit here so that we can bolt the big turbo onto it. And I wanted to give a shout out to Davey from Smeding Diesel for bringing these by today. Thank you very much. And also the flange for the back of the turbo. So we needed those really bad. And he shot by here and dropped them off. Got a lot of good guys out there. So thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna show you all something really quick, just because I think it's kind of important here. And don't mind the ground, I've been cutting a lot of stuff. So this is that pipe, the one that's gonna go on here. It's gonna come up and then hold the big turbo, which we're gonna see here in a little while, because I plan on getting this done now. So you see these welds. The reason why you TIG weld stuff is so you don't get all that nasty crap. You see all these little crazy things here, all that. So you don't get all that, because when you're MIG welding, you get a lot of splatter, and that splatter causes a mess. When you TIG weld, you don't have any of that. So you make MIG look all right, TIG always looks better. And the other thing too is when you're using stainless in a TIG, the stainless rod, this won't rust. So if these two pieces are stainless and your rod is stainless also, you won't get any rusting problems. This being MIG, it would rust up later on down the road if you didn't seal it or anything like that. Luckily, these all this stuff, this exhaust system is already, all this stuff's gonna get coated. It's gonna get ceramic coated on the hot side. We do that with manifolds and headers and all that kind of stuff. And it holds up really nice. But these will also get wrapped too, because we don't want all that stuff discoloring the aluminum up here and the firewall and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this piece welded on. Okay, God, look at that. Is that not the craziest looking thing ever? Looks so good. So as you just saw in this entire video, I'm putting this piece on. That's what I was doing, is getting all that situated, put it up on this big fat block here to hold that giant thing. Again, that's an 80 millimeter turbo. And the other one is a 64, that little one down there. I say little, but it's actually a pretty big turbo. All right, so to go over a couple of these things and how we're gonna plumb this, because this is gonna get complicated. All right, so it's a lot easier to explain this now because it's actually sitting on its own up there. I do have right now that little piece of square tubing holding this thing up, because that thing weighs a lot. So that's holding it up for now. But in the end, there's gonna be some bracketry that goes from here straight down through here to the motor. Also brackets for that smaller turbo down there. And I think what I'm gonna try to do is get the small turbo and the big turbo bracket, get those things tied together too. Here's how all this works. On the front of this goes a filter, okay? So that's where the I mean, I don't know if the filter's gonna go there. It might go through the radiator, or not radiator, the core support into the front somewhere. I don't wanna drop it down because then it's in the wheel area and those things are gonna be flinging up mud and, you know, cats and dogs. That's gonna go somewhere in here. Then we're gonna go from here, and this is gonna go here with a V-band clamp holding these together. So that's hard mounted right there. It's going to 180 all the way around, kind of go straight, and then 90 into the front of that smaller one, okay? And by the way, these are mock-up turbos. They don't even have any turbines in them. There's really nothing in there at all. So when it goes into here, it actually has a boot so that there's some flexibility in there. This really doesn't matter. You can see this is, it won't go on because it's the oil filter's in the way. But what we're gonna do is some of this stuff is gonna change in here, and you guys will see that sometime soon. We can also do remote mounted oil filter and put this filter somewhere else, which we might do anyways, because then you have even more lines going everywhere. Anyways, so that's gonna go there. From here, it's gonna spool up and shoot the air out, and it's gonna go into the intercooler, which this is the rendering for the intercooler. All right, so what I did is drew this in a way to where it wraps around the radiator, just like a factory Dodge does it, okay? It just wraps around. So around, over on that side, up, and into the intake of the motor. Look at that. So then that takes care of all the front stuff. You got a filter, this wraps around to that, that goes out, a lot of piping going on. On the back side, you can see all this mess back here. We were able to get the pipe far enough forward to where now we have exhaust room. All we got to worry about on the back is getting that exhaust. We're gonna go from a 5-inch down to a 4-inch, and then take a right Y off. One pipe is gonna go down through here, and then out underneath the car all the way down to the back with a muffler and all that good stuff. The other side of the Y is gonna come up, do a 90, and then split into two. One's gonna come out to this fender, and one's gonna go out to that fender. Simple as that. We also have our AC compressor that goes here, an alternator that goes here. On this side of the motor, by the giant pump, you have the power steering reservoir pump. Damn it. So now the only thing I gotta do is get this fender on and make sure that the turbo does not hit that fender. That's the only thing I haven't done yet, which is probably a good idea just to make sure. Fender's on. By the way, I wanted to point out, I had Tony do that whole wheel well opening. Check it out, this is how it looks with the giant tire on it. God, it just works. It works so good. You can see how far that wheel well went forward. We took all that metal out, and now our wheel wells are even. And this whole car, the wheelbase on this thing now is like 5 and 4, so it's like 9 inches longer. But look at this, it fits, and we got plenty of room too. It's not bad at all, and it sits underneath the hood. We got lucky on that. We're gonna have to put the boot on this so that the heat doesn't blister the hood, but other than that, that thing looks pretty good. It'll fit just right. And from underneath the wheel well, you gotta, jeez, I think we might just leave all this open just like that, because you got another pipe coming out of there, rolling around, that one going forward, exhaust pipe going back. And all of these pipes are all different sizes. One thing I noticed is we're sitting really close to this rubber bushing on the shock. Might need to put a heat shield in there somewhere. But it looks pretty good. So Matt and I are working on a lot of different things at once. We got the rear end and front end being worked on. The gauges, we got to get gauges in the car. We got to get the fuel tank. Yes, this is still happening. We have to drive this car 4.5 hours pulling the El Camino in a box trailer in October. So hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Subscribe and leave a like, leave a comment. I love reading the comments, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye.
Dude, it is so wide. It actually looks like right now it has a chop top because it's so wide in the hips.
Yeah, it does look smashed down.
It looks, and just probably because it's jacked up, it looks like it's squished. But yeah. I love it. It's gonna be great.